before I begin my speech, it is about pheasants, and I have a pheasant here. So if that's a problem to anyone, just feel free to leave and we'll call you back after. Okay? Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and honoured guests, this speech was inspired by our last meeting when, in our table topics, the question came up about Japanese food and how many ingredients are used. And I was reminded of some years ago when my Japanese son-in-law, this is Hiro Horinuchi, asked me to show him how to prepare a pheasant. So it was Christmas Day, we had our turkey, we'd had our Christmas pudding, but the two of us went out into the garden, took the two pheasants, that's a brace of pheasants, out of the shed, and we prepared them. And I'm going to show you something about how you do it. So you need some newspaper. That's for putting the bits you don't want in to wrap, so you can wrap them up. It's best to wear an apron as well. This is quite a messy job, which is the reason why we do it. I always do it in the garden. And you'll need a knife, and that is what I use for a drawing tool. And of course, you need your pheasant. This pheasant has been kept for about 2 weeks. You probably know that pheasants are quite tough, and you keep them hung for 2 weeks in the shed, and then they're nice and tender. It's the male pheasant. And to prepare the pheasant is 3 stages. Can everyone see? Would you like me to bring the table into the middle so you can see better?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right.
No, that'll do fine. I just didn't want it to be in the middle at the beginning and in everybody's way. The first thing you do is to get rid of the bits that you don't want. So that's tail, feet, seem to have disappeared anyway, head, and wings. I'm going to put that on the floor, it's going to take too much work. 1 pheasant. The next thing you have to do is pluck it. Now, I have to admit that I'm not particularly good at plucking. If you've ever watched one of those videos, you see them and they go... Well, it takes me half an hour to do a pheasant, so I'm not going to do it all. And in any case, it makes a lot of mess, as you might imagine. You have to hold the feathers in just the right angle and pull. Some of them are quite easy, sort of like that. And some of them are quite tough, but that's the next stage. After you've done the plucking, then you come to the yicky bit. It's called drawing, when you take the middle out of the pheasant. Now, there must be a special tool for doing this. You see, if you have something like a turkey, it's big enough that you can put your hand inside, but pheasants too small, so you can't. So I have a spoon, and I stick it in and out the middle. You then take it wouldn't have the feathers on now, you see, and when you take it to the garden tap, you pour lots of water over it, clean it all up, you have a pheasant. And in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I prepared earlier.
Ooh.
And that's ready to make into a casserole, lovely rich casserole with vegetables and tomatoes and wine. Or alternatively, you can cover it with bacon and have roasted with game chips. So, if my son-in-law has to come back to this country, and I hope he will, because that will mean my daughter and grandchildren come as well, and he can't get all those ingredients for his Japanese cooking, he'll be able to have pheasants. Now, he might have to catch them first, or at least get them from somewhere. How do you get them? I have to admit, for the sake of this, I bought one, but I've never bought one before, and I've done this many times. Usually they're given to me, because people go out and shoot these beautiful birds, and they don't want them. They just chuck them in the bonfire. And I think that's wicked, really. I don't mind eating them, but I wouldn't shoot them just for sport. So often they're leftovers from sport. Or the other choice is you see them along the roads. I recommend this because then they don't have any shot from the shooting in them. But they're usually where there's a dual carriageway and you can't get to them. But if you can get one that's not too mangled and it's still warm. I recommend them. Fellow Toastmasters, first catch your pheasant and then you'll have a free feast that's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Do you really want to shake hands?
I'm not going to shake your hand. I don't know where it's gone. I have actually got some stuff to do.
That was brilliant.
Do you want the head to
Really, really highlighted.
Thank you, everyone. Now we have 2 minutes, during which time you can have a chat in your little groups, and also fill in the sheets. Is that done at the same time?
Yeah.
Tony, we fill this in as well as having a chat.
Yes.
We have a discussion about what we think,
We
and
chat.
also we can fill these in. Is everybody familiar with these? Yeah? Right. If everyone has a look at those, each time you can see it's clearly laid out, first speaker, second speaker, etc. So if you just want to give your views about a few comments about what you think, comments you want to make, everything to be very positive and in a supportive fashion. Something that you particularly liked about it, something that you're going to take away with you, something you learned, something you particularly enjoy, but something that's basically is going to support towards them. And they're going to look back at it as I do with mine, and I always smile when I look at them. They're so positive and affirming.
That was brilliant. Really went something that'd be quite intimidating. She was able to organize a very complicated stage. It was so simple. She's a border, I know she dwells in the kitchen a lot. So come do a presentation for just a normal duration. This is between 30 minutes to do. So I'm sorry. Of course, not really. Don't say that.
critical analysis. She's corrected as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way to improve much on that.
No,
I know what on this page. So it's a flat platform, and she was able to push it to the video a little bit. I mean, that cannot. I didn't want to make it bad, so she's very unwell for
Okay, has everybody filled in their evaluation sheet as well as having a discussion? Yes?
I think.
Okay. Right, everyone, I think things are going reasonably smoothly. Right, so now we're coming on to the second speech, and as usual, as I should have explained earlier, we have an evaluator for each speech. The evaluator for this speech is Tony, and Tony is standing in, so well done, Tony. Would you like to come up and tell us what you're going to look for? It's speech number 6.
So on speech number 6 in the Competent Communicators Manual, we're looking for vocal variety. The objectives of the speech are to use voice volume, pitch, rate and quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to the message. Use pauses to enhance the message and use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. The speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. It's called Four of a Kind and it's going to be by Jay. Jay, for those of you who don't know Jay, is a phenomenal speaker, but really built you up here. No, not. But he's a phenomenal speaker. Some of the new people that don't know Jay, just to give you a little bit of background on him, used to be, he was going to turn professional golfer, plays off scratch, then became a professional poker player. This guy's got so many, he's so modest, but honestly, he's got so many talents, and poker and golf are just two of them. Speaking is his third. So if you can welcome to the front of the room Jay with his speech entitled Four of a Kind, that would be wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome guests. I want to share something with you that's quite open about myself that I've been doing for the last couple of years, and it's brought quality and value to my life. I always feel if anyone here is doing things that's working, don't hog it, share it, and we can all help each other. And one of the things that triggered that was hearing this. There's many attributes of a successful person that a successful person might have. Money, respect, a loving family, friends. However, none of these things guarantee fulfillment. I'll say that again. None of these things guarantee fulfillment. The only thing that can do that is gratitude. And I'd heard that a lot when I was younger, and I thought it was a cheesy line. And I thought it was for people who didn't have a lot would make themselves feel better. Honestly. But I've sort of understood it now on a deeper level, having seen a few different things. And as Tony pointed out, I did used to play poker, and I've seen young lads make millions of pounds, feel pretty depressing while they're doing it, and then afterwards felt like they haven't made enough. There's a good story about someone who's made 700-800 million, went to his deathbed, because devastated he wasn't a billionaire. There's many different things, and it's only when you can be grateful of something that it then becomes enough. And we can only do that in the now. So I'm trying to work on this myself all the time and build this into my life, but it's something you have to continually do. So I thought I could get a deck of cards up here, could use these to sort of show us that even if we don't think we've got much to be grateful for, there actually is loads of things that we don't even know about. So I'd like to, 52 card deck, standard deck, my favourite deck of cards. And each card is going to represent 25 years, and we're going to call that a generation. So 25 years a card, 52 cards is 1,300 years in a timeline from now till back then. Now, I'm no history buff. Doug can definitely take that cap. But I know over that time period, there's been some pretty brutal stuff that's happened. If we go back 3 cards, we've had 2 world wars. If we go back further, life expectancy starts to get a lot shorter. Back further, even slavery becomes the norm. So I don't know about you, but this generation, to be part of now, I feel pretty damn grateful for, with the amount of opportunity, certainty, and I couldn't think of a better generation to be part of. So put your hands up if you feel that you definitely want to be part of this card and this generation. Yep, so I think we can call that one an ace. Next deck is going to be 192, get creative, 192 cards, and that's going to be the amount of countries in the world, as of this morning when I looked on Google. So, as you can imagine, all different countries, people holding many different passports here maybe, as always, at our Toastmasters in Bournemouth. But if you've had the opportunity to come here, maybe that's because your country's allowed you and vice versa. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty happy with my passport and being part of this country given what's going on in the world. So out of all those countries, would we not feel that the passport we've got, pretty happy with that, with a show of hands? Call that one another ace. Next one is 1 in 20, 20 cards. You know I like my percentages. So this is the odds of actually being born disabled, unfortunately. 1 in 20 now. So, you know, we've all come here, we've all walked through the door. I know that sounds silly, but unfortunately some people cannot do that. We might not be in the physique that we've always wanted right now, but if this was our card of health currently, would you really want to put it back in the deck and change? Or would we keep the card that we've got now? By a show of hands, who would keep the card that we've got now? The next one, actually, I've put it as an ace for all of us because I think a lot of the people coming here is here for a reason where they're trying to better themselves, trying to push themselves out of their comfort zone. And I always believe walking through the door is the hardest thing. And unfortunately, there isn't actually, you know, not everyone does that. Not everyone is willing to do those things. So I've given us all an ace for doing that. As you can see, this was just an idea just to try and make us realise that even if we don't think that we've got loads of things to be grateful for because we're comparing to different things, we actually do. There's lots of different things that we can be grateful for. My dad always said when I was younger, I never realised it. He said, you've won the lottery being born in this country. One thing I didn't realise when I was younger, when the gratitude thing got thrown around a lot, was that it's a muscle that needs to be built. And that's what I didn't get. You don't go to the gym, lift the weights and walk out with the physique that you've always wanted. It takes time to learn it. And gratitude's the same. To get a physique would take a couple of years really to get an optimal health. And then continuous progression after that. Gratitude's exactly the same, why wouldn't it? Anything with the mind is the same. It's a continuous thing that we have to do all the time and we have to look out for. And if you don't, the opposite will happen. There's enough distraction of those. Media, social media. I know everyone's smart enough in this room to realise that wealth is nothing more than the perception of abundance. Now, there's about 7 billion people in the world, and I can guarantee you, over 90% of them, that's billions and billions and billions of people, would say that everyone in this room right now is extremely, extremely wealthy in many different parts of their lives. I guess the difference is can we see it? Thank you.
Right, we've got 1 minute to sit in our groups and have a discussion about what we thought about that amazing speech. And I can say gratitude is a subject close to my heart. I've just been doing research on that myself, and I've got an article that's been published on that, so I'll maybe give you the link to it. Yeah, and it's unbelievable. I feel so strongly about it. And then the second part of the 2 minutes, if you fill in your little slips here again, please, thank you.
It's a message, I think. It's something people do need to be reminded of. It's quite easy to get caught up in.
Of course, yeah. And I think we are all caught up in the loss of distraction, not realizing good things. It felt like it seemed like a preacher today.
He had a very calm delivery.
Yeah, it's to celebrate. I think he held everyone here. His room was totally changed.
Yeah, that's great. I guess it didn't have the fireworks. Give it a message.
Yeah, I don't think the message calls for it. I don't think the message calls for it. I'm more about seeing with a deck of cards. Just like the cards. I think with the card again, it was brilliant. And the few things I think I should pick out is that he didn't get to walk around the club. He was very, very stationed. And because his project is about book copyright. Okay.
All right, everyone, let's move on, shall we? The third speech is going to be by Tony, and the person who is evaluating Tony is Alison. Yippee!
What a pleasure to be able to evaluate Tony. He's moving on, he's finished his competent communicator, he's on to the specials, and Tony this evening has decided that he's going to tell us a story. And you think, Donald, oh no it isn't. And there are certain things that we're looking for in Tony's story this evening. Was the plot clear? Is there some sort of a climax that we're building up to? Did he develop the characters? Did he use any descriptions or dialogues without muffling this up? He needs to keep it clear, he needs to cut out the chaff. And have we got a greater insight to a historical event or person that he's talking about? And how efficiently has he told the story? Was there anything that was distracting? Were there any good mannerisms? So those are the sort of things that I'm looking for. You can look for them as well. No pressure, Tony, no pressure. So I don't know the name of your speech because I haven't looked at the manual, but let's Tony, come up to the front, please. What's he talking about? I expect Tony will know.
Panye PC. Did I get that?
I will tell you.
Panye, is that
Panacea.
FC.
PNFC.
Yeah.
Welcome to the station.
Hi guys, it's been a while we've not here to say something. Good evening ladies and gentlemen, my very amiable presidents, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How many of us here are football fans? How many of us here do like sports one way or the other? Maybe at night, Netflix and chill, sports. Today, actually, I'm going to tell you a story about a very special place. Today actually is the first day I heard about the place. It is a very special place in Thailand. It is an island that actually has a village that is set up on water. The island, the village floats actually. And how did this come about? It was a group of brothers, three brothers from Indonesia. They were looking for a place to dwell. And one sent the other one that, okay, you go and look for a place to dwell. And when you get there, climb or do it anyhow and signal us so that we can come and settle it, you and your family. So the guy went out searching and he found this particular location. There was no land anywhere, but it was a little bit okay, shallow. And he climbed on the very top of the mountain and he signaled them with a flag that he found the place. So they all came and dwelled there. In 1986, Compagnie is the name of the place. Compagnie are famous for certain things. Majority of the occupation is fishing because there is no farmland, there is no land in the entire place. It's filled with ocean, with water. It's filled with water. So Compagnie has a particular religion, which is they are all Muslims because there is a mosque there. They've got few restaurants, few markets, and everything we're talking about here is on water. However, they are so very much interested in sports. So because they got the opportunity to have electricity, they enjoy football. They watch football a lot. They love the game so much that they have never ever played it in their life. Because there was no place to play football. There was no space, there was no land, no grass. It was all on water. So the only game that they could play or engage in was boat racing. So this couple of kids who was always enjoying boat racing, watching football at times when he can, when any game is on, decided one day that, why not we form a football team? So they all sat down together and started thinking about forming a football team. There were about 8, 9 of them. Kids range from 7 to 14. And they said, okay. They went out to the village and they were shouting, very excited that they are now a football team. And the villagers said, football team without a football pitch, no football, how is this going to work? And I realized what they just talked about and they were so dejected and said, oh, seriously? How are we going to go about this? And you know the beautiful thing about our mind is that when we are faced with adversity, we begin to think twice and think creatively. So these children, they all came together and said, okay, we don't have a football team, we've got water, we've got lots of space there. What are we going to do? We'll make a football pitch, a floating football pitch. So they got all the woods they can get, all the planks they can get. After school, these children started walking on water. They got the planks together, just something like this, and get hammer, nail, and they started walking. And they were able to set up something that wasn't very special, but to them it was unique. Now they can play football. So why they do play football after school? This is what happened. It's on water, and you know how it is when you put a plywood on water, or maybe something very flat, about a square on water, and about 3 people stand on one side, it goes this way. So these children now, there's a ball here, there's a ball here, there's a post here, there's a post here. The center of the pitch. If the ball falls in the water, you're going to bring it back. So there's no guide guarding it. So these children were out there playing football. So they realized that the very few times they could be playing football, if they all run to chase the ball, they are all going in the water. If they all run here, they are all going in the water. So the device they made, okay, what if we say we don't all chase the ball? We have the keeper at both ends. We have some few persons at both ends serving as linesmen who will maintain the balance. And the rest of us enjoy the game. And when there's anyone tired, they take turns. So this was how it happened. And something happened along the line. Something very unique, that it was a football competition coming up. And they felt, we'll sign up. And they signed up for the football competition. In the whole of Thailand, they went for the football competition. So because they were able to manage their space, and because they don't want their ball to fall in water regularly, these children gain the ability of ball control. And they gain the ability to very much organize themselves, that they have very little space to work on. So let's use it to the optimal best of their ability. So they went to the competition and they realized that they were way better than loads of people playing football on grass. On the final game, They were not playing football. I remember, these children don't play football with boots. It was their bare feet. And they played in a very dangerous circumstance. On plank and the nails are not very well set. So, you imagine. So, they were able to go through the group stage to quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the final. And the team they were playing against were a very, very good side, one of the best in Thailand. And they were leading them 2-0 in the first half. And now it was pouring very hard. And they thought to themselves that, okay, we're losing this game. If we're going to lose or go down, let's go down very well. Let's play this game the way we know how to play it. So they all took off their boots and put the football and went back to the pitch with their bare feet and played football. Guess what happened? Before the game ended, they equalized the 2 goals. But unfortunately for them, they lost the game and they became run out. After that, the village automatically went straight to the map of Thailand. In 2001, they became the best team in Thailand. And until 2012, playing football on a floating beach. And today, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to Thailand, you will see a state-of-the-art pitch that was set up, that was initiated in 1986, that have been well developed now, and it is a spectacular thing to behold. However, if your ball falls in the water, you're going to jump into the ocean. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. That was absolutely awesome. I could just visualize it, could you not? I could just visualize. I felt as though I was there. Such a concept, floating football. It just shows you anything is possible. Anything is possible. So I think I'll start watching football more often. Okay, so we know what to do now, everyone. Everybody's clear. First minute, if you have a little discussion. Second minute, if you fill out your forms. Everyone cool with that? Yes?
Thank you. I want it was right there. Sorry. Yeah, what happened was, as you can see, before the meeting started, I was watch something. It was about, I just found it today. Someone was supposed to give the speech. I was Stella. So I was setting up the agenda. She said she's not coming. So I'm just going to jump in. So, I mean, it was, I found it out today. It was fascinating.
The reason Brazil was so good, they all grew up playing like a ball of rags.
Yeah. Everybody plays in the Yeah, what's actually fascinating much more about the story was that is the adversity. This had a problem here. And they used that to their advantage. Yeah, and now that place is a massive tourist attraction just because of that single thing. Yeah. The village now is so beautiful, the population has increased, and it's still a floating village. The population has increased, tourists now go there, so they get enough fun from tourism, not just fishing anymore. They do other things now. So I saw the pitch today, it was Panier FC.
I'd love to be.
Once again, everyone, the person, let me see, so is it the sergeant at arms who collects all the evaluation sheets, or is it too soon for that?
I'll just do that, don't worry.
That's not necessary?
No, it's not necessary.
Okay, so is it recess now?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the first half. Did everybody enjoy the first half?
I do.
Good. I'm really glad. Oh, what about the visitors? Did you enjoy it? Good. Yeah, so we're going to recess for about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes, and you can just sit down, you can go for a walk around, you can go and get a drink, water, I don't know, make sure you get water, we know what we do, but, yeah. So talk amongst yourselves, everyone. See you in 10 minutes.
We've heard three very different speeches. Very fast.
Okay, I'll stop here.